It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your hosts, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
For the Sunday night of April 20th, 2025, happy Easter, happy 420, happy Sunday, all that good jazz. You're checking out a special live edition of the RCWR show. We are minutes removed from WrestleMania 41, Night 2. It is now in the books. I think when it's all said and done, majority of us definitely would agree. Night 2 better than Night 1. Yeah? Sound off. Let me know what you guys had thought about Night 2 of WrestleMania. Come in with your comments. As always, you can vote as well. We got a poll up on Twitter at the RCWR show, also up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and vote that way. The new reign of terror. Dark clouds are officially ahead. Black days are officially here for WWE as mark it down in the history books on this night and going forward. John Cena doing the unthinkable for a lot of people. He is now your 17th time World Heavyweight Champion. Yo. I love it. I love it. You can't make this shit up whatsoever. I love it. Look, I haven't always been a John Cena fan. And I remember the turning point for me where John Cena finally started to win me over. Okay, and it's weird. My history with John Cena as a fan, it's very weird because I can remember rooting Cena on when I first saw him. We pretty much had first got the prototype character. I was like, I see a little something, but I'm really not quite sure here. I can't quite. And then once I started seeing the Thugonomics character and all that other stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I started to get lost a little bit when they started doing the whole Super Cena show. You all that know your wrestling, you lived it. You know exactly what I'm talking about with that whole Super Cena show. But where I finally turned a corner with John Cena for the better was when John Cena was coming out week in and week out and he was defending the United States Championship. That's when I was like, okay, this guy is finally trying to pay it forward. All right, cool. And so to see how everything has gone with this John Cena farewell tour, I hope you guys that were kicking back and you were going over predictions in your head and you kept looking at this match and you're going, oh man, there's no way. There's no how. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, understand what I'm about to say here. They had to go this route. Now, before anybody goes, no, they didn't. No. Understand something. WWE had to go this route with John Cena. You don't just take the Cena character, say to him, hey, let's do something different here. How about you go heel? and not have as part of that end of the rainbow a opportunity to not just be in a championship match on the grandest stage of them all. What, John Cena was actually supposed to walk out tonight short? We've already established Cody Rhodes, right? I know there's going to be a lot of Cody tears out there, right? I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, but I know there's going to be a lot of people hurting tonight because, God damn it, Cody Rhodes, I can just hear it now. Why this old man Cena had to win the championship? Oh, I don't understand. Also, they're taking a massive crap on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes just got buried. Cody Rhodes, look, understand something. Cody Rhodes did not get buried. Since Cody Rhodes has been back in the WWE, look, make no mistake about it. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that if Cody Rhodes didn't get that injury, things would have went down the way that it was supposed to go down 9 times out of 10. We just never really will definitively know. But Cody Rhodes has been thriving. His brand has been on all cylinders hot, merch pusher, gate pusher, like any freaking you want to put in front. Cody been crushing it, man. Cody has been crushing it. And he was given the biggest honor of them all when he was able to dethrone the tribal chief there and Roman Reigns. He has done any and everything and then some this go round back with the WWE. No, this is all about a couple of things. One, that Ric Flair record, just pretty much, hey, now when you think multi-time world heavyweight champion, now one of the first names you're going to be thinking about in the modern era is going to be John Cena. That's how it should be, because you had a couple of generations of wrestling fans grow up on this man when it's all said and done. For a lot of people, just how some of us that grew up during the Hulkamania era, just how he meant to us back in the day, John Cena meant that same way for a lot of people. Believe it or not, that might be kind of hard to fathom, but it's the God's the honest truth when it's all said and done. So for me, as far as Cody Rhodes losing to John Cena, I don't have an issue with it whatsoever because we are just starting to scratch the damn surface with John Cena being a bad guy. I mean, the possibilities here with Cena as the champion, it is endless, right? The first thing that comes into your mind from a creative standpoint is, well, wait a minute. John Cena just won the championship. He kept saying, going all the way into this WrestleMania, that he's going to win the championship. And when he wins the championship, that's going to be the last time you're going to see him with that belt. He ain't going to be defending it. He's going to force the WWE to bring about a new championship as a result of him retiring with that belt. That's how much of a disarray he's going to leave him in. So that's like one of the first things you're thinking to yourself right now. And hopefully some of the people that's there, that's part of the press media tonight, hopefully they're going to be like, so John, you said, is that still going to ring true? Like what's going to happen here? Right. So Cena being the champion, man, dude just showed up, whooped ass. Yeah, he had a little help there from Travis Scott. We can all admit, though, because I got to tell you, I was expecting a lot more than the Travis Scott effect. I was expecting a lot more. I was expecting for The Rock to come out, um, something. I was expecting a whole bunch of weird shenanigans to pop up there, but all we had got was Travis Scott. I think we could have done a couple of things differently there with the ending. I don't have a problem with Cena winning. No way with him. I have no problem with him winning whatsoever. But the fact that the way it ended was kind of a little bit, I don't know, undesirable. I think would be the best thing that I can say for that is undesirable. What do you guys think about that whole finish, by the way? Sound off. Let me know what you thought about that. Falcons saying I'm a John Cena fan, but that match wasn't competitive. On the contrary, I thought the match was actually pretty competitive. I like how the match pretty much started off. You had basically a chicken shit John Cena who methodically was taking his time here. You know, he was willing to lock up arms with Cody Rhodes, but when he felt Cody was getting the best of him, he was very quick to roll out of the ring, try to reset, and or a situation where he's grabbing the ropes and he's going, yo, get him off me, get him off me. You know, and then he's rolling out of the ring again, trying to take a little bit of a break. So I love the psychological aspects that we had going on in there. And then I also love the fact that, you know, it's funny because when I was first thinking about this match, I thought the way it was going to be laid out in those initial minutes, as well as everything I just described, I thought in addition, we also were going to see a John Cena just come out with the strength. Yeah, he might be a little bit smaller now and everything, but, you know, he's still, you know, he might be smaller, but he still got some power in there, right? And I was expecting some power moves. Didn't quite get that, but that's okay. I like the John Cena, this version of John Cena that they were trying to have be flushed out a little bit more and everything. You know, when you say that this match was not competitive, you got to be a little bit more specific as far as what elements you mean in general when you say that this match was not competitive, because we saw John Cena do not one attitude adjustment, not two attitude adjustments, not three attitude adjustments. I don't even think it was four attitude adjustments. I think it was five goddamn attitude adjustments that Cena had to ultimately pull off on Cody Rhodes. Not to mention, there was at one point, what was it, three attempts on the STF, dragging Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring there. Speaking of Cody Rhodes, not for nothing, Cody Rhodes looked pretty damn good. He got in there, what was it, at least two, if not maybe three crossroads, and Cena was kicking out of those bad boys. Definitely kicked out of a Cody cutter as well. No, this was definitely competitive. I think the main area where you want to focus on is it just seemed like, for as solid of a match that we knew these two men were going to have, and we knew that Travis Scott was going to interfere, it just seemed like once we put the Travis Scott in there, okay, Cody somehow needs to get his receipt. Okay, Cody's got his receipt. It's like, okay, so what else we got? And like nothing else happened, because you literally were expecting for The Rock to show up. Or maybe I know there was one fun little idea that was running around out there where some people thought that maybe Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman was maybe going to make their maybe make their presence felt and everything. So Falcon's trying to follow up now. He's saying, as I'm saying, competitive. I mean, former wrestlers didn't come out like last year to help Cody or Cena. I wish we could have saw The Rock or someone else. Yeah, I mean, but see, it's one of those things where for anybody that's thinking like that, you're not going to please everybody. Because on the one hand, you can have people say, well, I appreciate the fact that there wasn't as much interference here. But then you can have other people that say, well, man, this was WrestleMania, though. I was expecting for The Rock to appear, you know, like really when it counts and he has to make his presence, you know, really be felt here. Like, you know, when he shows up, some shit's about to go down, business is about to pick up. And I can meet y'all halfway. That's like, hey, where's the, but the fact that they wanted to keep it as simple as they did, I don't really have too much of an issue with that. If anything, I have an overall issue with the fact that, for me, I felt this match definitely should have gone longer. Uh, we definitely should have seen more of a, and I get the story that they were trying to tell here, because when you get towards the end of that match, And Cena got the opportunity to get that heavyweight championship, and he was about to go upside the head with Cody Rhodes with it. Cody, countering back. He's now got the championship in his hands, and Cena's dropping to his knees, begging, please, please, please don't do it. You're automatically thinking back to essentially what Cena said to Cody, the week before, or off and on the past couple of weeks, which is, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to continue to kiss up to the fans? You willing to, all because of them, or are you going to embrace your true self? Basically, are you going to do what needs to be done by any means necessary? It's like, stop with this whole, fake. At least that's what Cena feels is what he was seeing before him was fake. He wanted for Cody to get down and dirty with it already. And when it counted the most, Cody could not do what Cena was essentially willing to do there. And it cost Cody. So although the finish might have been a little bit anticlimactic there, like I really wish it could have gone to a case where, well, wait a minute here. This guy Cody, all the shit that this guy went through and how he ultimately was able to beat Roman Reigns, and yet the way in which Cena ultimately was able to win as final moments for this matchup. Once Rhodes took care of Scott, Cena charging, as we mentioned, with the title. Rhodes ended up blocking, grabs the belt from Cena. Rhodes refuses to hit Cena with the belt. Cena ends up low blowing him, slams the title into Cody's face, makes the cover as the referee comes back in. I thought for sure Cody was going to kick out because it seemed like it was an eternity before the referee, was able to get back in there and everything. I thought for sure Cody was going to kick out, but no, it was a 1, 2, 3. And that was all she wrote. The match was 25 minutes and some change. Wish they could have did a little bit more, but if you want to really just sell the psychological aspect, if that's what we're really supposed to be homing in on, Cena was able to do what Cody ultimately was not able to do. That is definitely enough to run with. You can say Cody underestimated, right? You could, however you want to feel that, you can definitely go there. But now the real fun begins because we have Cena here, who is the champion. What does the future hold exactly for that championship? And storyline continuity, is Cena going to be a man of his word and just retire? Like, that's it. You ain't going to see that belt again. Like, he's done. It almost makes me wish that we didn't hear about this whole Cena tour stuff, right? Because you're seeing the Nestle Crunch commercials with Cena, and he's happy go lucky talking about it's snack time, and then you've got the plugs that they were doing for Cena. What's the next PLE? Something's coming up in October, I think, and they were mentioning how Cena's going to be there, and you're like, God damn. Can we like get the Backlash and SummerSlam first? Like, why are we already talking about October and Cena? And like, come on, man. We'll come back more to that main event match, but definitely the tone here overall for WrestleMania Night 2, fantastic compared to Night 1. It's funny, I was talking with a couple of buddies today, and I said, not for nothing, but Night 1 of WrestleMania, I would have to give it a 5 out of 10. I appreciate the effort. Effort is definitely what counts. I give it a 5 out of 10, but I need Night 2. I need Night 2, and I needed to deliver. Night 2 definitely did that with our first match out of the gate, a triple threat match for the women's World Heavyweight Championship, as Io Sky successfully retained over Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. That was our first match of the night. And you know what? When I play all the matches back in my head, as far as the match of the night, these girls definitely did it. They hit a fucking home run out of the park. Very proud of all three of these girls. This match went a total of 14 minutes, 25 seconds. Uh, I love Bianca Belair's ring attire. She came out with the most beautiful robe that was made out of roses. Now, I can't help but wonder, were those real roses? Because if it turns out those were real roses, that makes that attire of hers even that much more kick-ass. Let me tell you, it was beautiful, beautiful robe that she wore going out to the ring. Her entrance was cool too. Some girls playing double dutch. One of her stepdaughters was part of her entrance, so that was pretty cool. I did enjoy that, all for what it was worth. EO Sky, nothing as far as a special entrance goes. Rhea Ripley, nothing special that I can recall there. All three of these girls, though, I mean, this was a instant classic. And it's interesting because over the years, I have seen my fair share of triple threat matches. And sometimes the way some of these triple threat matches can be designed, you can have a triple threat match where, yeah, it's really one person fighting this person, and the other person, they're not really a factor. Or it's a case where, okay, this person's fighting this person, but then this other person tags in, and then the other person's out for a little bit. But then I like a really good triple threat match where it's no, 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 no. It's very, I would say cohesive, but I think the word I'm looking for here is trihesive, right? All three of these girls, there was always something going on with all three of them. Even if it was a case where it kind of seemed like somebody was negated, it wasn't for that long. It was always three parts moving in this match. And I really, really like the hell out of that. I gotta say, love the way that this match was booked, especially given the story that we had going into WrestleMania, which was Io Sky, huge chip on her shoulders because she's feeling as though, y'all continue to overlook me and I'm the damn champion. Y'all need to put some respect on me, put some respect on my name. Like, what the hell here? I gotta say though, if there was any match where I was looking at it and going, hey, I wonder if there's going to be some type of interference, I definitely looked at this one and was thinking, I wonder what's going to happen here, because I'm thinking back to night one. I'm wondering how salty Naomi is going to be here in regards to Bianca. I wondered if maybe she might have came out trying to extract a little bit of revenge or whatnot. I kind of wondered if maybe something was going to go down, but no interference whatsoever. Which in retrospect is a good thing, because now that I look at the match in its totality, in retrospect, yeah, no interference was needed in this here. Absolute perfection was this match. One of the greatest triple threat matches that I have seen in quite some time, and I have seen quite a few. Absolutely the best. When I play back WrestleMania weekend just as a whole, and I even think about what we got from the NXT stand and deliver, like this one really, really, I can't sing enough praise. So to anybody that maybe has not had an opportunity yet to see WrestleMania night 1 and 2, and you're thinking about doing some fast forwarding, this is definitely one match I would say don't fast forward. This is definitely one you want to kick back. Don't take no calls. Don't check your emails. Get nice and comfy and enjoy, because this was really, really some good stuff here. Um, Closing moments of this matchup here. There was an avalanche riptide that got countered into a moonsault block to a KOD. It was a really fantastic sequence that had went down. And then in the finish, Rhea Ripley blocked a poison Karana from the top and dropped Io's head onto the ring post. Then Rhea and Bianca, they had a nice little exchange that had saw Bianca do a devastating hair whip to the abdominal region of Rhea, always sounding like a gunshot when she gets that bad boy off. She does that trademark hair whip, follows it up with the KOD. Only Io breaks it up with a moonsault that basically came from out of nowhere. She did the moonsault onto Bianca Belair and was able to pick up the victory that way and get the retain. Again, one of the greatest triple threat matches that I have seen. I would definitely be willing to put that in my 2025 match of the year candidates for sure. That's how much I enjoyed that match. I'm not just saying that, fam. I'm not just saying that. From there, go to our next matchup. By the way, let's talk. Hang on. Before we go to the next matchup. So Io Sky, still our champ, right? So I mean that is great. That is great on so many levels. The boos that were coming in there for Bianca Belair, fans did not want Bianca Belair every time she was starting to build up momentum. Fans displeased, very, very displeased. Anytime Io did something, fans loved it. Anytime Rhea Ripley did something, the fans loved it. So fans in attendance. And by the way, shout out to the fans. What was it? I think the number was 63,000 plus. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on as we had a certain rattlesnake come out to reveal the official number. But yeah, the fans in attendance, y'all got to pat yourselves on the back because your energy was so better than what we got from the crowd that was at night one. I don't know if this was a completely different crowd or if this was the same crowd, but this crowd was able to get a good night's rest and all that other stuff and just kind of chill, mellow out until really it was showtime. I don't know what the case was, but I love the energy that came from this crowd all throughout the night here. So Io continuing to be the women's world heavyweight champion, that is definitely a good thing considering what's going on with the whole Naomi, Jay Cargill. I don't think they're done by a stretch. And Bianca's still kind of intertwined in that whole thing. So we kind of have an idea what's going to happen with Bianca there. Rhea Ripley, she's definitely not done. She's definitely she'll get another crack. No, don't be. I know some of you guys are like, it should have been Rhea. Like, I'm cool with Io, especially considering what is on the horizon for WWE with this partnership with the AAA promotion and how we got Worlds Collide coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if Io Sky was maybe somehow an integral part in that when it comes down later down the pipeline this year. By the way, helping open things up for night 2 of WrestleMania, the beautiful, the lovely Stephanie McMahon always puts a big old smile on my face when I see Stephanie McMahon. I miss her in WWE, so it's nice that we have been seeing so much more of her. So Hall of Fame ceremony, and then we got the Stephanie's Places, and then she's doing the podcast, and I watched her do an interview on Kickoff Saturday as she was talking about how the whole podcasting thing came together, as well as Stephanie's Places, and then it was kind of fun and everything. But then to see Stephanie here tonight going over memories of when she was 16 and WWE had first came to Las Vegas for a WrestleMania and all that, and how it's essentially come back full circle. I think she said her middle child is 16 now, so kind of interesting how everything just kind of came back full circle there. But always great seeing Stephanie. All right, next matchup: Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Great costume by Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest as well. It seemed that Damian Priest was kind of going for the Hellraiser pinhead look a little bit there. I definitely was feeling what he was pushing. That match, Drew McIntyre picking up the win, 13 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm happy. See, I'm a little conflicted here with this one. Let me explain to you the reasons why. See, on the one hand, I'm looking at some of the stuff that's happened with Drew McIntyre as far as WrestleMania moments and all that. And, you know, Drew McIntyre has essentially had to take a little bit of a backseat, so to speak, right? So to see Drew McIntyre come out of this year's WrestleMania and he gets a dub, it's okay. Well, that's what's up. Like you feel good. But if you're a Damian Priest fan and you were looking at this matchup, you kind of felt that Damian Priest needed to get this dub because you could make a very valid argument that ever since he got sent over to SmackDown, it just kind of seems like ain't nothing really much been happening with the man. Okay. And so you kind of felt as though he really needed this win here. So I can't help but scratch my head and kind of wonder, so what exactly is next here for Damian Priest? Does Damian Priest maybe win Money in the Bank? Is that maybe in his cards, or is it a situation where if you do a King of the Ring tournament, does he maybe do something, with that? I'm trying to figure out here, like, what exactly is going to happen here with Damian, or is maybe none of those the answer, and if actually maybe the answer is Damian needs like a tag partner, something of that magnitude right now. It just feels like he's kind of lost. Feels like creative isn't quite really sure what to do with the guy. And we know the last time that he won Money in the Bank, it was in 2023. So, me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing a situation come about here where Damian Priest is like laser focused. He's trying to be a man on a mission. He's dedicating himself to being a two-time Money in the Bank winner. That way he guarantees himself, right? I can definitely see him being one of the 5 or 6 guys for that Money in the Bank joint. But for Drew McIntyre, hey, this is great. This is great that if you're a Drew McIntyre fan, you're going, hey, Drew won at WrestleMania. That's great. He finally had a really cool big ass moment in front of the fans and everything. That's what's up. Okay match between the two of these guys. I thought they did a nice job brawling a little bit all over the place. I particularly love the spot where Drew McIntyre called himself trying to do a claymore after wedging a chair over the neck of McIntyre, and Drew just somehow ended up catching him. Correction. Drew put a wedge chair around Priest's neck, was getting ready to do the claymore, and then Priest somehow manages to counter that bad boy, turn it into the South of Heaven choke slam. It was a wicked ass spot. I loved it. Good stuff right there. Final moments of this matchup for the way this had played out. Priest got hit with Drew McIntyre. Sorry about that. Drew McIntyre got hit with the razor's edge through a table for a near fall. And then nearly won with the future shock on the steel steps. Drew ending up shoving Damian off the top through 2 tables that was set up several minutes prior. So you knew that was going to be the big bump of the night and pretty much what was going to be the end of the match there. And then beat him with a chair assisted Claymore to pick up the win. The match played out better than I expected, personally. Priest definitely very solid performance, but just kind of one of those head scratching. As a fan of Priest, I'm going, so what's next for the big guy? What exactly are we going to do here with the man? So we shall see. We shall see. But ever since he's gone to SmackDown, he's pretty much just been kind of lingering there. And I'm not really a fan of that. I think they really did a disservice to Damian Priest when they moved him from Raw, because color me intrigued when they had him in the War Raiders. That seemed like something that just was a friendly bump, right? It's just, hey, funny thing happened on my way to the grocery store. And I thought that WWE could do some really cool stuff with that trio. Hopefully at some point they'll maybe find themselves getting back to that. But it just kind of feels like right now Priest just by himself, missing some stuff, man. Missing some stuff. Other than that, good ending as far as with that spot goes. Good for McIntyre, setting himself up for something way bigger. Intercontinental Championship match we go now. Bron Breakker defending against Finn Bálor, Dominik Mysterio, and Penta. Dominik Mysterio coming away as your new Intercontinental champion. That went down at 10 minutes, 30 seconds. About damn time. I can't complain about this one whatsoever. Right ending here. Look, love Penta. Penta is on a roll. When you look at all the former AEW stars that has come to WWE, besides Cody, just put Cody to the side, because it's like you just knew the minute Cody, it was just instant, okay? But not since Cody. You look at the way Penta is truly an overnight sensation. And I would like to believe that the powers that be in WWE quite taken back by how great of an overnight sensation he's become. Big bright career ahead of him, without a doubt. But as far as him possibly coming out as the new I never thought for 1 second that it could potentially be him. For Finn Balor, I felt, he's pretty much done there. He's done that. Really, the two people I was eyeing the most was Dominik Mysterio or retained by Bron Breakker. And the more and more that I personally was thinking about it, and I actually went with Bron Breakker. I just felt, give the guy a WrestleMania moment here. But the more and more that I thought about it, even after I doubled down and said, I'm going to go with Bron Breakker, I also kind of felt, well, if Dom isn't able to get it right here, considering everything that we've been seeing playing out with the Judgment Day, and, it really feels like WWE is trying to come around more to Dominik Mysterio. Like, if Dom isn't able to get the job done here, then what? Like, what, if not now, then when? If ever. So the fact that Dominik, and that's the big story right here. Dominik Mysterio wins the championship. I look at this as a bittersweet reward for the young man after everything that this man has done for the last couple of years now. With the biggest one being he was able to take Liv Morgan just by, working alongside with her and pretty much helping flush her character out a lot more and everything. He was able to add a whole new layer to her. And yeah, for all the work that this guy has been putting in over the years, this is great. This is great. Not to mention when you're following storyline continuity, now you got Dirty Dom in this situation where he gets to rub this in Finn Balor's face. WWE's in a very interesting position right here with Dirty Dom, because how frustrated is Finn Balor going to be here? Is Finn Balor going to be frustrated to the point that he just goes ballistic on Dirty Dom? Because now it kind of feels like we're kind of at a crossroads here, potentially, with Dirty Dom. because yeah, the fans, they love Dirty Dom. They appreciate the guy's work and everything, but WWE's in a position here where if they want to, they can have Finn Balor just totally flip, lose his cool, beat the holy living crap out of this guy if they wanted to. And just in one night, just flip the script here, and Dom is over as a baby face. I'm very curious to see where we're going to go. Now look, I still feel there's a lot left in the tank of a Dirty Dom still not quite playing up to the fans and everything. You can still do a lot more, but you just kind of feel a lot sooner rather than later Dom's going to be turning a corner there. And when he does, oh, by the way, I love that Pat McAfee and the crew were bringing up the whole dude wipes. And Pat McAfee just as grotesque and just detailed when you got to take a dump and your turds come out looking like Dom. Nothing feels better than wiping that shit with a dude wipe. Like Pat, dude, like there's there was too much potty talk for my personal taste. Too much personal. All right, Randy Orton taking on a mystery opponent. A lot of you guys were going Rusev. I'm going. So why would we bring this guy back only to have him re-debut and lose all in the same night? Like, no, that makes no damn sense whatsoever. Like, I just saw people putting all kinds of weird shit out there. Like, so I like the idea that a lot of you guys had about, hey, Rusev in Judgment Day. How about it? I've liked that idea too, but I've also pitched Omos in Judgment Day. All right. So, you can't have it both ways. It's either Rusev in Judgment Day or, Rusev just he pops up on his own and right. But you can't have Rusev, Randy Orton. Like, no, that makes no sense whatsoever. So who did we get? Because it wasn't Rusev. Who did we get? We got say his name and he appears. I believe in Jordan Grace. I know I'm kidding. I wish it was Jordan Grace. That she probably would have gave Randy Orton more of a challenge than the TNA. He's the current TNA world champion, isn't he? Joe Hendry. So look, first things first. I love the touch of trunks that Orton pushed to the ring. It was a tribute to his original trunks. I was hoping that maybe we'd get to see him do the overdrive. It actually used to be one of his original finishers and everything. Look, great surprise seeing the TNA World Heavyweight Champion in Joe Hendry. Really, it was. But pretty much 3 minutes later, RKO, and it's over. Let's tackle this. Because I know a lot of people, especially the TNA fans. Oh man, this was a squash. Oh man, what are they doing? Oh man, they're making TNA look like chumps, making them look like a joke. Look, Randy Orton looked like he was on cloud nine. He looked like he had a lot of fun working with Joe Hendry. Orton came off to me like he respects Joe Hendry. He really, really does. And I hope he's part of the night 2 press conference because I definitely would love to hear his thoughts about working with Joe Hendry and everything. But you would just like to believe that WWE, has been eyeing Joe for a while, and you would like to believe they think very, very highly of him and everything. Um, I'm not going to say this was bad for Joe Hendry and TNA. I'm not going to say that at all because I feel that this was really good exposure for them. I mean, what better way to really help continue to give a nice rub off there to another wrestling promotion than having the TNA World Heavyweight Champion on the middle part of the card. Mind you, there were 7 matches, and this was the 4th match. And you have this guy working with one of the all-time greats, sure bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer, and Randy Orton. Wasn't a bad match. I wouldn't even say that this was a squash match. Okay. Um, at the same time, for the little bit of offense that he was able to get in there and everything, I thought the match played out just fine. Look, when you are looking at the Joe Hendry character in the WWE universe realm, he has not accomplished not even a fraction of what Randy Orton has accomplished. So in no stretch should Joe Hendry have gone over in this match, like to my whole point and everything. Um, might have been a short match, but I'm not going to look at this and say Joe was buried, TNA was buried, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion was buried. No, for God's sake, this man was able to do his full entrance, people singing, waving their hands to his theme song, all that stuff, smiling faces, great ovation. You couldn't have planned this out any better. This was good. This was good. On so many levels. I was fine with this. I had no issue with this whatsoever. I really hope after a good night's rest, those that were a little bit bitter, salty, or whatever, hopefully they kind of come to their senses and go, you know what? For TNA, this was actually pretty damn good, right? Like this was pretty damn good. TNA, now they just got to make sure they continue to capitalize. That's the thing. They got to continue to capitalize. Nice touch there post match. Randy Orton showing Hendry a little respect before giving him another RKO and then rolling out. Next matchup, Logan Paul defeating AJ Styles 17 minutes, 50 seconds. I would call this one the dark horse match of the night, right? Because when you get 2 names, you're like, surely this is one that's going to be the sleeper hit match of the night, right? I would say this was pretty solid. Love the way things had played out towards the end of the match. And to Sam in the chat saying, is this the Triple H Netflix era we were told would be different? Can't believe people would defend this. Sam, what specifically, what specifically are you talking about as far as people defending? Because let me tell you something here on this show, and I don't give a damn if it's WWE, if it's AEW, if it's TNA. I don't care who it is. When they're doing it right, I give them praise. When they're doing some stuff wrong, I'm giving constructive criticism. For God's sake, as far as WrestleMania night 1, literally, because you just popped in, so you missed it. I literally just said WrestleMania night 1 was a 5 out of 10. I said night 2 was definitely better than night 1. So you definitely, and NXT Stand and Deliver, I can make a very valid argument that NXT Stand and Deliver was the overall better show compared to WrestleMania night 1. So be a little bit more specific about what it is that you are maybe noticing that kind of had you a little bit uh, rattled, or in general saying what you are saying there. But AJ Styles and Logan Paul. I saw one comment that came my way via Twitter where somebody was telling me, I can't stand Logan Paul. I said, good. That means he's doing his job then. And I did a laugh emoji. And the person had followed up and said, no. Here he is, Dango. Dango said it truly disgusts me every time Logan Paul wins a match. And then when I said, oh, he's doing his job right then, and he goes, he's not. The douchebag needs to go away. He doesn't belong in WWE. That's kind of when I would have kept going, but it's one of those things where I go, yeah, I don't think that's, seems kind of more like a personal thing, because there's no denying that every time you watch this Logan Paul guy in the ring, you just continue to be amazed at how quickly this guy gets it. And then you're taken back by how much this man can hang with some of the best, and that includes AJ Styles. Logan Paul, as far as I was concerned, putting out there another classic with the phenomenal one there in AJ Styles. Let's pick it up going towards the end of the match here. Had a torture rack spinning power bomb, which gives AJ a near fall. Springboard 450 hits. Raised knees, though, and Paul hits the Styles clash. Wasn't a very well executed good one. Styles ends up doing the real thing, showing him how it's done. And then one of Logan Paul's goons, I didn't even catch the guy's name, but he's at ringside, crouched down. He pulls out a pair of brass knucks and he's getting ready to put it into the ring. It looks like when a hand grabs his hand, and it turns out that hand belonged to Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross laying eyes on AJ Styles. The hell is that? Okay. That was weird. Anyway, my iPad is possessed, people. Anyway, Karrion Kross locking eyes with AJ, telling him, look, listen to me, take the knucks, knock this guy out, do it already, get him, be over and done with, guys, I got to be honest with you. If you are not, let me tell you something. I hate pausing. I hate doing this. I don't mind anybody that comes into our chat and want to explain the reasons why they didn't enjoy WrestleMania. You are more than welcome to do that. You are not going to be censored here. I promise you that. But please, people, be a little bit more mature. If you're just going to come into the stream and you're just going to be doing a smear campaign talking about WWE sucks, God bless AEW, like, understand something. I actually cover AEW. I don't just talk WWE. I also talk AEW. I also talk TNA. I happen to be one of the few people on occasion that will talk about, wow, women of wrestling. I will talk about from time to time the NWA promotion. I will talk from time to time the MLW promotion. So don't just come here thinking that, oh, well, this guy's just talking. No, we talk everything. Again, when a promotion is doing something that's on point, we're showing them love. When they're doing something that's not on point, we're definitely talking about it and offering ways of constructive feedback. So y'all been warned, because like the last thing I hate to do is block knuckleheads. I don't like doing that. So don't make me be a bad guy, right? Don't give me the choice, because if you're going to give me the choice and you're going to make me be the bad guy, I'll be that bad guy and I'll sleep good. And then, you'll be cussing up a storm and fuck that black dude, and all this other stuff. And I'll be sleeping good. So y'all been warned. Had to say that because we had a couple of AEW hardcore marks that popped up in the chat there just now, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. It's like, we are not doing that. Nope. No. Especially when I was just here a couple of nights ago and I put AEW over. I said, hey, I heard a lot of praise for the Wednesday show that they put out. And I said, I haven't watched it yet, but, I plan on, and I was going to actually talk about it more, and still will. I'll be talking about it on the Monday show. But it's weird, isn't it? Like, I don't get that. It would be the equivalent to, you hear that one of your friends is going to a Bon Jovi concert. You hate Bon Jovi. Okay, well, if you don't like Bon Jovi, well, why would you be going to the arena where Bon Jovi is going to be playing and you're holding up a bullhorn? Bon Jovi sucks. And it's like, okay, like, really, dude? Anyway, let's get back to talk of WrestleMania. All right, so talking about the final moments there between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross, Logan Paul. So yeah, Karrion Kross trying to encourage AJ use the brass knucks. AJ refused to use them, and he ended up decking Karrion Kross, did Styles. From there, Styles tries to go for the phenomenal forearm. He misses it as Logan hits him with a big right hand, finishes up with the pulverizer, picks up the victory. So, look, you kind of felt that going into this. Not really sure if AJ is going to get the win here. But you also had in the back of your mind, if you've been checking out WWE programming, that, well, Karrion Kross has been egging AJ on these past couple of weeks. Wonder what's the odds that he's going to make some type of a WrestleMania appearance here. And, I got to tell you, it put a big old smile on my face that Karrion Kross made an appearance at WrestleMania. I loved it. It was unexpected. I'm a huge Kross fan. So the fact that he made an appearance, and then for storyline continuity, AJ gonna be getting up in Karrion's face, right? Because they've been doing their thing these past couple of weeks and everything. Wasn't a bad match. Kind of cold in a few areas. I will go on record and say, although I'm impressed with how well Logan Paul was able to hang with AJ Styles, not that I ever doubted him. I've seen better singles matches from Logan Paul. I have seen better. Now, you may say to me, well, damn, Lee, what if it was the AJ Styles from maybe 4 to 5 years ago? I think how things played itself out, I think it probably would have still been the same. Now, if maybe you want to get an AJ Styles from 10 years ago, I think this match probably would have been on a higher level for sure. Definitely would have been on a much higher level. But I've seen better Logan Paul matches. And I think when you guys really take a step back and you think about this match, you'll agree as well. Women's tag team title match, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending against Lyra Valkyria. Was supposed to be Bailey, but Bailey got injured. Kind of saw that. We don't know who attacked Bailey. We kind of have an idea. You're led to the impression that it was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, but in either case, Lyra had the task of finding a tag partner in 24 hours. Such short notice. Whatever a girl to do. Call the man. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch making her triumphant return after a year away. Did you all honestly believe the stuff about her being retired? And I mean, surely you saw some of the commercials that's been in syndication here, right? I know, for instance, when they were doing the commercials for Raw getting ready to appear on Netflix, Becky Lynch, you look very closely, she's in there. I mean, she appears for like quick 2 seconds, but she's there, right? She's in the new Chime commercial. Much frequent. It's more frequent than what you saw from the little, Raw package and all that. So she looks good. I was watching this match with my wife, and my wife was very quick to point out that Becky looked well rested. She did not look worn out. And I was like, yeah, she did look pretty. When last we saw her, she looked good. She looked very, very good. Um, That's just something else I wanted to say about Becky. Becky has a certain glow about her again. She didn't quite have that last time I remember seeing her. And maybe that was just whatever was going on with the birth of the child and being on the road, and then also trying to juggle wrestling and all of that, right? Family, friends, and all that stuff. Who knows? But in either case, she looked great right here. I find it kind of funny how everything kind of comes back full circle here, because remember, one of the last times we saw Becky Lynch, she was an ally to Lyra. And one of the last times we saw Becky Lynch, she was in a program with Liv Morgan. So to have all this great intertwining going on in this tag match just all comes back full circle. And I love that type of storytelling when you do it just right. And that's exactly what was accomplished here, as Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch became your new women's tag team champions. Look, as far as the match itself, it's okay. It was okay. And when I say it was okay, don't think I'm going, it was a great, no, no, no. Of all the matches that was on the card for the night, as cool as it was to see Becky Lynch back, I honestly would have been all right if they'd have held her off until the Raw after Mania. Because remember, there's been in the past couple of years now, we've gotten those Raw after Manias, and nothing much has really been popping. Ain't nothing really been sizzling. For me, as cool as it was to see Becky Lynch return and all that good stuff. And look, great start as far as having her come back, because now by having Becky come back, you're thinking about that nice domino effect that has on NXT for this Tuesday. Because remember, whoever walked out of night 2 WrestleMania here as your women's tag champions, they got to take on, oh God, who is it? I think it's Gigi Dolan. I can't think of the other girl, Tatum Paxley. They're going to be taking them on this Tuesday's NXT. So that whole domino effect, I love that. I love when you can take a major star from Raw or SmackDown, have them come on over to NXT. I love that. And vice versa. I love that. So good move right there. But beyond Becky Lynch, match was kind of sloppy. And it didn't even have anything to do with Becky Lynch, really. Um, Raquel Rodriguez, there was a lot of missteps, some miscues, definitely some timing issues there. Um, some of the big power moves that she did do look pretty good, but was noticing a little bit of sluggish stuff there that mainly was coming from Raquel Rodriguez. I thought Liv was a little bit okay in her role. Okay of a tag match. I mean, it was all right. If you were a Becky Lynch fan, you basically were on cloud 9, no doubt about it. But take that away, put that to the side, and really just focus on the match itself. It was like, boy, their tag reign didn't last that long, did it? What happened to those reports that some of the people were putting out there about how the tag division, how it was supposed to be essentially built around them? I thought there was like some type of a weird, silly. It's kind of funny how all of that just, well, not so fast, right? It's like not so fast. Um, just trying to think if there's anything else in regards to this match. Kind of solid. Liv definitely most of her stuff that she got in there. Liv did pretty good. Undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes losing to John Cena. I mean, we pretty much opened up talking about this match. And again, that match, we went to the 21-minute, 40-second mark. Some can make an argument that the signature moves, the finisher spamming that was going on, probably was a little bit of overkill. The Travis Scott spot where Travis Scott just came on out there and no rock, no, just coming on out there, right? That might have seemed a little bit random, a little bit, right? Especially when you don't have the commentators going, hey, it's Travis Scott. One of the last times we saw him, he was with The Rock and John Cena, and they put that hurting on Cody Rhodes there. Like, okay, well, Travis is here. Where there's Travis, you think there's others that might follow? Like, it just seems so. Just having him out there by himself definitely was pretty awkward there. I would have to say. Just trying to think if there's anything else I want to say in regards to this match. For those of you that's just now tuning in, we opened up talking about the main event match and John Cena 17th time world championship. I tell you what we can do. We can go to this comment that came in from DSL because it ties in so perfectly with the main event match. He says Cena should have won the Rumble and faced Gunther, not Jey Uso. Shaking my head. Jey Uso is a mid-carder. Give me Cena versus Gunther for night 2. A fatal 4-way, Cody, CM Punk, Roman, and Seth. I hear where you're coming from, D. I really, really do. But look at it from this standpoint. Because with what you're proposing, see, this is where you got to do some deep thinking. You do this with Cena, then that means you negate Cena going the heel route. This means you take the Cena heel route from off the table. And what? You're basically going to go with John Cena for the red, white, and blue, Rocky Balboa against the Ivan Drago that is Gunther. As a longtime John Cena fan, and I've seen all of John Cena's matches, Cena has already told that story. He's done that multiple times. I actually remember the joint with Rusev, for crying out loud. So no, you can't. No. Now, make no mistake about it. I still feel that before Cena is done, Cena will lock up with Gunther. Make no mistake about that. See, we were sitting here months and months ago, and I remember when Cena had first announced this whole tour, and I remember coming on the show talking about obviously who could his final opponents be. And I remember bringing up Gunther and everything. I think you, the listeners, had toyed with the idea of possibly Gunther and John Cena. And I said to you guys, I personally wouldn't have an issue with that if John Cena were to win the Royal Rumble. And does he go after Cody or does he go after Gunther? I said to you guys, well, shoot, for me, I'd really like to pay it forward. I'd like to see him do something with Gunther. But the real money, the smart money, is with Cody. I told you guys this. I prepared you guys for this. And that's exactly how it panned itself out at the end there. So, and let's talk about Jey Uso for a minute. Fam, I get it. I get it, my brothers and sisters, when it comes to Jey Uso. I know there are those of you that's like, look, he's, and I know in you all's eyes, you're not expecting him to be a Kurt Angle or, what is it? A Rey Mysterio as far as in the ring goes. I know you guys aren't expecting him to, right? I get that. There's one comment that I had saw where a person had said, um, Jey Uso is like Fandango, basically. You know, he's just right time, right place. He's got the right song. He's got the crowd. You know, like I got the comparison, but I felt that that was a little bit harsh for what it was worth. But let me tell you something. Some of my friends and family members that have been watching their wrestling for as long as I have, if not longer, have been on this incredible journey with the Usos. And to see these guys go from tag team, right? To see where Jey Uso is now and everything, that is something that should not be, what's the right word I'm looking for? Well, I guess I'll say shitted on, maybe. Maybe that's the word I want to go for. It shouldn't be shitted on because I can remember not that long ago that there was a Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, and you're like, hey, they're a great tag team. But that was about as much as you would say. You know, you pretty much were focusing on whoever else, you know. Those guys have come a long way, particularly Jey Uso. And the guy is printing money. And I don't expect for people to really understand where I'm coming from, you know, especially because you know me by now. With my past experience working in market research, you know, working with many companies that's trying to figure out how to better brand themselves or a particular product they're getting ready to put out there. I'd help organize focus groups, things of that nature, being my own businessman, you know, setting up my own deals when I'm trying to, you know, work with people, sell ad slots to potential advertisers and all of that. You know, for me, you know what I always say, longtime listeners, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I'm talking about that good common sense. And for me, you would be a fool to look at all the money that Jey Uso is printing and not go, yeah, make him a world champion. Yeah, no, no, no. I'm not gonna do that. Nah, nah. You have to roll the dice and you have to go, okay, let's see what this guy can do. Right? Understand something. And WWE, this isn't like WWE, like, oh, this is just so random. This is just so, look at all, and we've talked about this before several weeks ago. Look at what WWE has been doing this entire time with the way in which they have been embracing more and more these past 3 years the rap hip hop culture. Okay. The entertainment industry and all that. Look at how they have really been adapting and doing the crossovers with them and all of that. The amount of young boys, girls, teenage boys, teenage girls, young men, young women, even grown ass adults gravitate towards Jey Uso. I mean, he's hitting up so many demos, man. I mean, he's crossing them all off. Okay. And you could say to me, Jey Uso, he can't really cut a promo worth a damn. He can't. Yeah, that's probably true. But when you need somebody to go on the Breakfast Club, or you need somebody to go on WPGC 95.5, or you need somebody to go on the Tom Joyner morning show, or you need somebody that can go make a pit stop over on the Steve Harvey show, you know, or you need someone that can fill in the, you know, Jey Uso fills that quota and then some. You look at some of those hip hop R&B artists and they see what Jey is all about. They want to try to rub elbows with that. And that's definitely what WWE wants. Just all the, for God's sake, the man now has his own goddamn box of cereal. I mean, come on. Right? Again, you'd be a fool to not, you know, you have to root somebody on like that. When you see them doing, they're just crushing it, all these opportunities that they're being given, and it's like you can't help but go, all right, we'll seize the day, keep doing it. That's what's up. Keep crushing it, keep doing it, make it happen. You don't want to, and I know most of you people mean well, most of you fans mean well. You don't want Jey to fail. But if there is ever a, okay, you're now the man, see what's up, right? Now more than ever, you want him to continue to succeed because you can see all the potential that's there, and ultimately not just opening more doors for WWE, for wrestling fans. For Christ's sake, I remember BET recently. They came up with a wasn't it a blacklist of like their top favorite black wrestlers of all time or something like that? I remember they did some weird list, and it was like, well, that's interesting that they are kind of going in that. Okay, whatever. But yeah, you can't help but root a guy on like a Jey Uso. Hell, I can remember a time when all I saw when I looked at Cody Rhodes, I can remember a time when all I saw was Dusty's kid. And then my God, when he did the Stardust character, like I just Stardust, okay. Never in my wildest dreams, a world heavyweight champion, and I never saw any of that. I never saw any of that. So it's amazing and look at Matt Cardona. It's amazing how Matt Cardona went from just internet champion slash he's just a tag team guy to look what he had to do ultimately. So when you see that somebody definitely after years and years of, took them a while, but they finally were able to string it all together, and now look at them, right timing, right place, all that good stuff, you can't help but go, that's what's up. If anything, I am continuing to root for Jay's success, Jimmy as well. As long as they can keep their noses clean and not get in trouble with the law, man, anything is possible. Now I do need them to put that is that a mosquito? I hope that's not a mosquito. Now, if anything, I'm gonna get my spray ready just in case though. But they can stay out of trouble. You feel where I'm coming from? That would be good. That would be good. So that was WrestleMania night 2 in a nutshell there. Looking back at these matches. So we just went over 7 matches. Let's look at these again because I want to give you guys my high point, low point, and give it a overall grade. So let's see, where are we here? All right, so out of 7 matches, definitely Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, definitely my match of the night, my high point of the night. My low point of the night. Ah, great seeing Becky back, but the tag match, it didn't really do anything for me. Putting Becky Lynch's return to the side, it didn't really do anything for me. Yes, I would take that one out. Looking at the rest of the matches here. Uh, Logan Paul, AJ, that was pretty solid for what it was worth. I think I see a mosquito. I'm getting ready. I'm telling you, once I see a mosquito, that's it. My mind is like totally like, oh, ah. I think I got it. Okay, let me see if I can focus. Logan Paul, AJ Styles. Yeah, I'll give that. That one was pretty good. So 7 matches. One I absolutely liked. One I would say leave off the card. Randy Orton, I'm happy he had his WrestleMania moment, but I honestly could have done without it. That's just me. So let's take those 2 matches out. So that puts you down to 5. So I like 1, I like 2. Yeah, I would say 3 really good matches I enjoyed. The Fatal 4-Way wasn't that bad either. I would say the Fatal 4-Way for the IC title, that wasn't really too shabby of a. All right, so number scale 1 to 10, 1 being crap, 10 being awesome sauce. Definitely better than night 2. I would give this one a 7. Yeah, I can't go higher. I cannot go any lower. 7 out of 10 for night 2. Let's see what you guys had to say on social media here. Looking on Twitter at the RCWR show, seeing how you guys had voted. I've got NBA playoffs because I know it began on TNT. I got that on the DVR, so I am definitely going to be enjoying that after this is over. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, guys, y'all spoke on Twitter. 17% of you felt that WrestleMania Night 2 was terrible overall. I see 15% of you said it was an awesome show. 30% of you felt it was below average, and top dog right now, not by much, 38% of you said better than night 1. As Abel does drawing mentioned in the comments here, better than night 1, but not by much. I appreciate you guys that have voted via Twitter. Let's see how you guys had voted via YouTube. Again, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section. Let's see what's going on over here. Post section. There we go. 11% of you guys said better than night 1 for sure. 22% of you all said an average show, and 67% of you felt it was an awesome show. Appreciate you guys that has sounded off. Let's go through some comments here. Seeing what you guys are saying on social media. Oh, by the way, funniest moment from night 2 of WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out on his dirt bike, his little, Lord have mercy. I said to my wife when he came out, I said, damn, he driving that son of a bitch a little fast. He might want to just slow it down a little bit there, especially when it comes to those corners. And she was like, he probably got there earlier in the day. He he had to, make sure he did okay there. I'm like, yeah, maybe. And we watched, as she was saying that, we watched Stone Cold do this sharp right around the announcer's table, and then he just wham hits the wall. And we're like, damn. And I said out loud, hit a wall. Why don't you run it over? Why don't you, Stone Cold? What I did not know at the time, because I was watching all of this in real time, and I see Nick Khan, and I say, look like Nick Khan going to check on somebody. And she's like, what's going on? I said, I don't know. Maybe Stone Cold hit them. And we start laughing. And then sure enough, I see on social media, because you guys are so goddamn fast. Credit to you guys. Somebody posted, I think it was Wrestle Ops that posted it. One of the first people I saw that posted it. So shout out to them. So Stone Cold, he hits the wall with his bike. And we see this woman that basically pulls a LeBron James flop. She waits like 3 to 4 seconds after Stone Cold hits the LED wall, and then she decides, whoa, it was like, what the hell? And so Nick Khan was checking up on her and everything, like, yeah, no, honey, no, you are not going to get a check. You're not going to get a check. Nice try, but you are not going to get a check. You can forget about it. And one of my favorite accounts that I love following on Twitter, it is the WWE Jim Ross account. Always saying stuff. Yeah, what would JR say here? And he said it best here. He said, if that dumb sues WWE, I'm going to sue that dumb for ruining my WrestleMania. When you're in the front row, the barricade can't hit you. It's on the damn terms and conditions. That shit can happen. Crying, sauce it. And I just said, testify, because like it was the truth. But no, we had a hearty laugh afterwards, my girl and I, because I think we went on to see the next match. And I said, like, no, she's there. She's chilling. She's chilling because I see her drinking her beer. And sure enough, it was her. It's like, okay, good. She's not going to sue. Because she's there sitting, enjoying her beer. Like, okay, she's good. And then to see Nick Khan back in his seat, like, okay, we're good. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Everybody's going to just relax, have a good time and everything. I do appreciate the class act of Stone Cold after he announced how many were in attendance and he did his beer celebration. He actually went and checked on her and said a little something as he made his way up the ramp and everything. So Stone Cold Steve Austin, he did come out revealing that for the night 2 attendance, 63,226, a little bit more than night 1. Remember, night 1 had 61,467. So that combines for 124,693. So good job, WWE. All right, let's go through some comments here for WrestleMania 41 Sunday here. Tyler saying this show was the opposite of night 1. Night 1 started slow and ended with 2 incredible matches. Night 2 started with great matches and excited moments throughout every segment of the undercard, followed by an extremely controversial main event that was designed to send home the fans disappointed. I think we should say send some fans home disappointed. We very seldomly get overtly heel finishes to the main event of WrestleMania. It is a launching point for Cena's heel farewell tour, and I'm willing to see how this pays off in the long haul. The opening triple threat match stole the show. Very, very on point there, Tyler, without a doubt. Plaza 21 says, show started out fine, but died after the Joe Hendry squash. Why you booking the TNA champ to look like a geek? Disagree with that, but hey, this is you all's time. The RKO was a funny spot, but it made TNA and Hendry look like clowns. The AJ Logan Paul match had no heat and was full of botches. It was clunky, and a YouTuber basically going over clean over a pro like Styles was pathetic. Then we get to the main event match, which was solid up until Travis Scott comes down and proves to be the difference in a match. You ask, who is Travis Scott? Same here. Some 140-pound rapper causes a distraction and Cena wins with a low blow. The exact finish from last night. D-list celeb gets the shine at WrestleMania and diminishes Cena's win. Rock doesn't show up. This WrestleMania over 2 nights stunk. Felt like Vince booked this show. I have no interest watching WWE in the future. Plaza 21, very sorry that those were your interpretations and you feel the way that you feel. Hopefully you come back a couple of months down the road there. And if not, hey, always other wrestling promotions. Make sure you're also supporting your local indie fed. You never know. You might be looking at a future star of tomorrow. Leith 99. This is the best example of the main event is 1,000 times better than the rest of the show. This looked like a WCW pay-per-view. The beginning was some of the best things I've ever seen. You got Io Sky winning in one of the best matches I've ever seen. Then Drew McIntyre in a really fun street fight with that amazing tweet and old school table spot. Dominik Mysterio finally got his WrestleMania moment. Then the show turns sour. Sad to see Joe Hendry jobbing in 3 minutes, but it's nice to see how much faith WWE has in him. Paul versus Styles was sad because WWE cares about celebrities. The women's tag team was fine for me. I was happy to see Becky back. The main event sucked the life out of the show. It was like seeing Dennis Rodman helping Hollywood Hogan, but at least Rodman was a bad to average worker. Scott doesn't even look like a wrestler. He's not an athlete. And he's the hardcore champion? What? But it's sad to see John's 17th victory feeling like an afterthought. Swaffles had this to say. This show had a lot of potential, but a lot of it fell short by either being slow-paced or not long enough. There's a fine line between being too drawn out like Mania 35 or too short like Mania 30. AJ versus Logan, Orton versus Hendry, Drew versus Damian, and especially the main event felt underbaked. After an epic run-in field hype train last year, only having Travis Scott come out felt very underwhelming and empty. There was so much hype around this match, and it ended up being a finisher fest. However, both the opener and four-way were some of my favorite matches of the year so far. Joe Hendry's curveball of an appearance was a good shocker, but this overall had me feeling bland. Don't worry, I'll go through some positive comments here. Luca said, WrestleMania is officially over, man, and these 2 days went so quickly. Hype for the Mania was so dead that I didn't even have the feeling that WrestleMania was this weekend. I was looking forward to main events of both nights, and the triple threat delivered, while John and Cody match went how it went. Underwhelming. At least John officially achieved GOAT status with his win, and this is one of the reasons why this Mania will at least be somehow remembered. Joe Hendry also got the moment to be at WrestleMania. Happy for him. Read a couple of more here. Night and day. Oh, this comes from J Boom. Moran J Boom. Night and day from last night. Tonight we started off red hot with 4 amazing moments matches. Then after that, it sort of trickled downhill. The main event will be talked about for years as just complete jumping of the shark. And Logan Paul had a fairly poor match with AJ Styles. I don't know about fairly poor, but we all can be in agreement. We've seen better from Logan. We've seen better. Beyond that, everything else was excellent. Match of the weekend in the opener, a great street fight, a very fun Intercontinental title fatal 4-way, Randy Orton's surprise opponent being awesome, as well as Lyra's surprise partner. Oh, and Stone Cold nearly murdered a fan. Great After Boss says, unlike Saturday's beginning matches, the opening 3 matches on Sunday were absolute show stealers. one of the best triple threats in Mania history, followed by a great street fight and a solid fatal four-way that made everyone look great. Then the mid-card kind of falters a bit. Hendry getting squashed is stupid, and remember, he is the TNA champ. So a great way to bury a partner's brand's top champ. The Logan AJ match was worse, and then the women's tag titles picked things back up for me. The main event is odd. It wasn't bad in terms of match, but the finish is just really strange and hurts my view of it. I like Cena winning, but this is the weirdest Cena wins LOL moment in a long time. Much better in total than Saturday, but still some missteps and impact heavily on my thoughts. Let's do two more, and then we'll call it. Let's do two more here. If I can just Private Eyes. Night one was okay overall. Boring, formulaic. Oh, that's a new one for me. He gave me a tongue twister, but mostly forgettable. But this show took that boring and the template I just mentioned and made it worse. The main event was significantly worse than Night's already dull match. I don't know what he's trying to say right there. The women's tag title match was underwhelming, and I'm not convinced Becky can still go. Paul Styles was heatless and nothing happened. TNA champion Joe Hendry looked like a huge geek when Orton squashed him, then humiliated him more. Dom Mysterio won another one of many WWE cookie cutter four-ways. Priest McIntyre was a heatless street fight that didn't really feel like it was ready for a pay-per-view match. The women's three-way to start the show was great, easily the best WWE match of the weekend. But it wasn't good enough to make me feel like this time was well spent. Nasal Tomcat. The show started off hot. The first three matches were a lot of fun. The comedy of Orton and Hendry was fine. But from there, the bottom fell out of this show. Can't recommend it. Sadly, this WrestleMania will go down as one of the worst. I don't know about worse. I got to mute myself real quick. Hang on, guys. Nagging cough. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I could find. I'll give you one more. Try to give you a little bit of a well-balanced meal. Spoiler alert from J.L. Harmon. It started off so well with the best opener in WrestleMania history and then two big bangers. Then there was Orton match with a surprise opponent, and it was Joe Hendry who came. The reaction was crazy. I'm not the biggest Hendry fan, but the moment was cool, and I can't criticize the choice because it was originally supposed to be a real storyline between Owens and Orton. And unfortunately, due to an injury, the match didn't happen. So far, so good. Then it was the turn of AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. A good spot fest, but not as incredible as it could have been. It was a small 4-star. Then came the 2 versus 2 with the huge return of Becky Lynch. It was too good. That's the WrestleMania feeling. Before the main event, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And all it needed was a good main event for me to give this show a 10 out of 10. But unfortunately, the main event was very weird, which kind of screwed things up. So there we go. I'm standing firm where I am, though. So again, for me, high point of the night, the women's triple threat match. Low point of the night, great seeing Becky return, but just that tag match, I was good. Orton, Hendry, I could have done without it. Just take it off the books. I could have done without it. Happy they gave Orton his moment and all that. That's cool, but could have done without it. I'm still looking at it from a 7 out of 10 scale. I'm not going to go higher, not going to go any lower. But that is how things are looking. So next up, we got the Raw After Mania post-show edition of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. So we'll be streaming all throughout multiple outlets for that one. So make sure you check it out. And in the meantime, if you haven't done so already, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed. We got available on demand and the downloads, especially wherever you get your audio. For you guys that you need to catch up because of the Easter weekend and all that. Maybe you were with family and everything, and you got to get caught up. So we got night 1 of the WrestleMania post show. That's available for you on demand and downloads. We have as a YouTube exclusive the NXT Stand and Deliver post show. We have the Hall of Fame post show that's available for on demand and downloads. So check all that out. And yeah, we'll be doing this again for you guys on Monday nights. Before we get ready to dip out, though, I do want to take this time out and give a mad shout out to our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. So first up, I definitely want to give it up to our good friends over at Zool-World.com. Dreamers, fighters, go-getters, if you're ready to turn your ambition into reality, check out Zool-World.com. Whether you're an MMA warrior, an artist, or just someone chasing their dreams, Zool World is your home for grit, determination, and one-of-a-kind merch. From bold apparel to accessories that make a statement, Zool World is there to fuel your hustle. Check them out, Zool-World.com. We're also brought to you in part by our friends at AIstudios.com. Check them out, as if you're ready to bring your creative vision to life, they can help you out with that, as the possibilities are endless, from personalized avatars to dynamic storytelling. They do it all. Get started today. No credit card required. We're also brought to you in part by ClaimMySETCRefund.com. Now, although the April 15th deadline has passed, I know there's some of you guys, you're getting around to doing your taxes late, paying a little bit of a penalty and all of that. But make sure you check that website out, as you may be eligible for a refund of over $30,000 if you worked key positions in 2021. Let the good folks over at ClaimMySETCRefund.com help you find those much needed tax breaks. We appreciate all these guys being our sponsors. Again, without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. We got to pay the bill somehow, fam. Get at your man on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And until next go around, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. See you all next go around Monday night after Raw goes off the air, to be exact. Peace.